Welcome back, Bottle Killers. Another episode of Bottle Kill TV. As always, I'm your host with the most, Michael Roche. And with me, as always, we have the often imitated, but never, ever, ever duplicated. It's the real Bottle Killer, ladies and gentlemen. How the hell are you?
Doing good, yeah. Looking forward to getting into this one. We've been having a bit of a Campbeltown theme, so we thank you very much for joining us again. Hope you've got a dram in hand. I'm ready to go on a little journey to the lovely shores of Campbeltown.
Yeah. Campbeltown Funk is in the building.
That's where we're going.
Friday night, we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. So what have we got today?
Today we are going to be diving into Glen Scotia's 2024 Campbeltown Malts release, which is a 9-year-old unpeated whiskey, which has been finished in Fino sherry casks. So Fino is a more drier type of sherry. So potentially, like with the wine casks and that you're into, it could be a good one for you.
I do love a dry alcohol.
Yeah,
a dry dram.
Yeah. So this should be, I think, that finishing period in the Fino sherry. I'm expecting a lot of dryness on this one.
When I was a kid, dry used to always confuse me. Like, my mum used to get, those big, the cartons of wine. the big ass cartons
box
that
of
people
wine.
used to get. Box of wines, yeah. And bag in a box. And it used to say, crisp dry Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And I used to always be, confused. How can it be dry? It's liquid.
Yeah.
But now I know. As you
get
older, you know these things.
Always learning.
You've brought out my favorite glasses, as always.
Yeah, these bad boys.
The stems, you feel like it could crumble.
Break in your hand. I broke another one of them the other day, so we're down to 3.
Did you see Laura Woods cut all her face?
Yeah.
I feel like this could be could be me on the podcast with these glasses.
The next episode, I'm not presenting it with Michael because he's in hospital because he's got injuries from
Charles the glass.
Weak fake Capita glasses.
These apparently there's a pillow fight gone wrong.
Yeah, sounds wild.
Yeah, poor thing. Get well soon, Laura Woods. So let's roll with it. So this is kind of like a new release, right?
Yeah.
New release.
Relatively new. So at the time that we're shooting today, it's about a week or so until the actual Malts Festival. And then the whiskey, I think this came out maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So it's not hot off the press, but I've seen it. A few people trying it, getting down with it. It's a lovely sweet nose, though, isn't it? I do get a lot of sweetness on that nose.
Very spicy, very nose prickly.
Oh yeah. Glen Scotia is well known for being spicy. I love it though. That's one of the things that I do.
The
love
nose
about
prickle
Scotia.
is really there. So we just had the warm up dram that we had. I didn't even think to add water to it. This one, I think, maybe this need water, but let's give it a minute to. This has actually been settled. We probably poured this about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so it's had plenty of time to set in the glass.
Definitely.
So that's legit. It's just got some strength.
56.2%.
Oh wow, yeah. So it's a big boy pants on.
It's a cask strength whiskey, and it's not a it's not double figures, right? So it's not significantly aged. It is a 9-year-old. So I imagine that's why you're getting some of that nose prickle, some of that alcohol. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet. So as I say, I think it's sweet, kind of caramelly on the nose, lots of stewed fruits, stewed kind of apple, sugary, that kind of sweetness coming through, very fresh. Lots, floral kind of character, and that spiciness as well.
Bit of marzipan.
Yeah.
Just
Sweet.
on the bottom there.
Little Battenberg.
Yeah. It's a good call. Yeah, that is.
Nice. Right then.
My sister watches this channel. It always blows her mind when we're like marzipan, Battenberg, and she's like, "But how can it be? It's just liquid that's gone into a barrel. How can it have all of these things?" It's kind of interesting because you would have said that to me 10 years ago. I would have agreed with her. The subtlety is that's why we love this game.
We talked about it on previous episodes, haven't we? Is that what we love about whiskey is that it fundamentally starts from the same 3 raw ingredients, and then it can take on so many different flavors from the length of maturation, how it's distilled, the cask that it's put into, everything, and you do maybe we've got 150, 160 bottles here at Bottle Kill Studios HQ, and like not one of them, like you could put two side by side, not one of them is going to be the same. They're all completely different.
Well, what's amazing when we went to the Johnny Walker experience in Princes Street in Edinburgh is, you know, they had that quarter and they had like Cardew and it had a very set smell. You know, there was a set smell for Cardew. There was a set smell for they did Cardew on our one. I can't remember what the other distilleries were. And people taste like a Johnny Walker green and like, oh, this is more Cardew here. And they can, you know, distilleries have their specific footprint. You know, and it's just what the little subtleties in the process create. It's incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I think this one, it comes in a little bit hot on the palate for me. I know, as I say, the character of the Glen Scotia distillate is pretty renowned for that spiciness, and it certainly comes through in the finish there. It's very dry in the finish. You do get that dryness
Incredibly
from the
dry,
Fino
yeah.
sherry cask. It's kind of that, like, tongue-tingling dryness that we often talk about. Get those kind of fruits, those caramels, sort of figs coming through on the palate. But yeah, I'm going to put some water in this too because I think it does come in, you know, a little bit hot and it could do.
But this is you know what this reminds me of? This is like I saw a press conference the other day, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, and Jake Paul can always like seem to like get in his opponent's head, and he couldn't get in Mike Tyson's head. He was like. You don't understand. You don't understand what's about to happen, even if I am 55.
Different beast.
And this is kind of like a Mike Tyson. It like humbles you. It's like everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face, right? This is kind of a punch in the face.
Yeah.
This is Campbeltown funk times 10.
Yeah, it is. It's
got the richness as well as the funk.
Smacks you in the chops. So just going with
water settled it a lot. Actually, I went
water.
5 drops.
Yeah.
I really tried to settle it.
Yeah, I put a fair few in. I think it does. It definitely needs the water. This one.
Now you've got some smoothness to it. It's not such a Mike Tyson.
No, more fruitiness coming through.
Mike, fresh out of jail, Peter O'Neilly.
Yeah, certainly more mellow, isn't it?
So what is it? Did you say it's a Portofino sherry cask or what?
Fino.
What
Fino
is
sherry. I don't know too much about sherry. I think I did this on the Ardnahoe episode. Actually, got the PX and the Oloroso mixed up. So I was drinking Mactala last night or the night before. Can't remember which one it was. And I've got a PX sherry and an Oloroso one. And I'm second guessing myself again because I always get them mixed up. But I think PX is more towards the sweet end of the spectrum. Oloroso kind of sits in the middle, and if I'm not right, it's the other way around. And Fino is like down at the other end as like the driest.
Okay.
So you've got kind of like my personal favorite is the Oloroso. I remember when we tried it at Glendronach, the actual sherries we tried, they poured us. We went to do like a tasting at the Glendronach distillery in the Highlands, and he poured us these sherries, and like one of them, I was just like, oh dear me, it's like fig syrup or something. It was so thick and sweet, like I couldn't get down with it.
I remember it. And
but you liked it. You liked it.
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be the contrarian of the room. Everyone,
yes, you do. You love being
everyone was like, but yeah, I actually found it enjoyable, which is kind of weird. But
yeah.
you know what, you get to a certain place where you know what you like, right? And so you just got to go for what you like. You can't be going with the band, the crowd so much. I'm still getting the classic sherry notes though. Yeah. That's why I was asking you about it. I'm still getting like the classic sort of like fruitcake,
dried fruits, spices, the standard. Do you know what?
Christmas
like I'm actually with the water there, kind of like I'm getting more like apple strudel, kind of like these desserts that like a caramel apple Betty, so it's got like a nice caramelness.
Oh, you love this apple Betty that like no one knows what this is. This is like a very unique, like I think only Pensby.
Yeah, like we used to sell them in the Anchor.
What's it called again?
Caramel apple Betty.
Apple Betty, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah, it's like a dessert. It's got like a layer of like stewed apple, a layer of like caramel, and then like a top with like a crumble or like a kind of crumble.
Yeah, the one
and you
that does
have it
the woman that does the toad in the hole.
with custard.
Toad in the hole, like roast potatoes. You get them from like Tesco, yeah.
Oh, Aunt Bessie. She probably
Yeah,
does.
good old gal, Aunt Bessie.
you
You
probably-
provided. We grew up on them toad in the holes. That was like a big treat on a Sunday.
You honestly, you probably
It'd
can
be good to got
actually
toad in the hole.
get a Aunt Bessie's caramel apple Bessie. Do you know what? I'm going to buy one and I'm going to bring it on an episode.
Aunt Bessie or.
I'm going to get it next time.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it because it doesn't
Do it.
exist. So
It does
um,
exist.
So yeah, I think in terms of the finish as well, it's got a tasty old finish.
Mm.
I'm scared to put this glass down in case it like explodes like a grenade.
Mm.
So I'm gonna keep it in my hand even though I've finished it. So I think we wrap this up unless you have.
Yeah, take them out. Yeah, don't worry. I can finish this. And then
Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I mean, what about in terms of like buy or not a buy for this one?
Yeah, I think it's how much was it?
I think it was like 65, so not too bad.
So it's a good price. It's
Yeah,
a good price.
decent price. Not going to break the bank with this one.
It's you would always just go for the Springbank 10. I think you get the same. You get almost the same notes. Like even like the apple strudel note is like very similar to the Springbank 10.
Yeah.
But you get it way better. But obviously you're probably not going to run into a Springbank 10. You probably grab this on the website. £65. It's not bad. If you like, but it's. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot more Glen Scotia than it is Springbank. But in terms of the Campbeltown funkiness, that if you're looking for that, I would just go Springbank 10.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Glen Scotia. We're in for a bit of a treat next. Don't know if you can see in the background, but we've got the Glen Scotia 25-year-old. So hit that subscribe button. Come back and check that one out because we hear great things and we're going to be tasting it soon. I'm going to say not a buy for this, and I'll tell you why. So as I say, big fan of Glen Scotia. I don't think the flavour profile is my personal favourite. When we went to Campbeltown, I got an excellent single cask bourbon, and for me, Glen Scotia typically performs better, in my opinion, in bourbon casks. I also like
You adored the white port last year, didn't you?
I loved it. That was
the last year's release of the white port.
Yeah, the white port,
which was your second favourite of the whole year, I think.
And exactly, so I think coming off the back of what was an excellent release last year, the white port cask, I was expecting more. Maybe it just doesn't agree with my palate. I'm not a fan of the super dry kind of finishes. Obviously, the Fino is playing a big part there. It's a nice whiskey. I'm not saying it's a bad whiskey, but would I buy it again? I wouldn't be rushing out to get a backup of this. Unlike, the white port, I drank it. I had to go and get another one. If I could get another one, I'd get a third bottle. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, unfortunately, Glen Scotia Campbeltown Malts for me is not a buy.
So, okay, well, as you can see, we've got a Glen Scotia 25. I want to get onto that one. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to love you or leave you. And Bottle Killer, take him out.
Well, yeah, thanks for joining us once again. I've had a good time. I hope everybody that's watching there has had a good time too. Michael, have you had a good time?
I've had a funky old time.
Good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Bottle Kill TV.